Hi guys, my name's Adele Onyango and welcome to another episode of Legally Clueless. No, seriously, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Hi, welcome back to Legally Clueless. I'm so glad that you're part of this community. So first and foremost, disclaimer, if you hear some strange noises, there are trucks going up and down the road outside. I don't know why. Because they were not there an hour ago. It's like they were waiting for me, but hey. So yeah, that's the sound that you could hear every so often. This week has been so amazing. So first and foremost, I just discovered yesterday, which was Sunday. I love Sundays again. So when I was formerly employed, I used to hate Sundays. What? So at about 2 p.m. every Sunday, my mood would just like, hey, go to the shits. Because I'd be remembering, crap, tomorrow is Monday. No, I don't want to go into that office. But yesterday I went for a long drive. Listening to Lizzo. Oh my God, she is my favorite artist right now. Had like cheese sandwiches. Like I just felt like, my God, kumbe life on Sundays can be colorful and cheerful. However, guys, listen, I also did something last week on Friday that I've been putting off for a while. So a month ago, I resigned, but you're meant to clear. So first and foremost, when I was resigning, I didn't know. I didn't know anything about clearing. Like, what is that? So the HR from my former employer was calling me like off the hook. And I was just like, nope. Don't want none of that energy. But she was actually like, yo, you have to come and clear, blah, blah, blah. So basically you go to like different departments. So like your supervisor and, he or she clears that you don't have any of the office equipment or keys and blah, blah, blah. You go to finance. They make sure that you don't owe them any money or that they don't owe you any money. And if they do, they pay you, they write you the check. If they like you, that is. And then where else did I have to go? Finance, my supervisor. Oh, I had to also go to the IT department. What I didn't realize is that my tag was still working, you guys. And my, for the biometrics, so like my fingerprint, everything was like still working. So that's why you have to clear so that you can just, and then they give you your formal release letter and stuff like that. So I was super, first I was nervous to do it. So I was meant to go on Wednesday, then I was doing something else. And I was just like, nope, I don't feel like it. I don't want to go back to that office. I was feeling nerves and anxiety. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. And so I was talking to my former colleague and friend, Linda Nyangwe. So I was just like, oh my God, please, when can I come when you're free? So I went on Friday and she literally walked with me to each department. Hey man, friendship goals. It was like closing day with your mom. She's like, next department, have you ticked here? No, but it was really cool of her to do that. Because guys, what was so strange on Friday, I had like the worst anxiety attack. Maybe like an hour and a half before I had to go to that office. And I just don't know why. And so I was trying to like think about it and be like, okay, what's happening here? Then I was like, am I worried that I'm going to think when I'm in that space that I've made the wrong decision? Okay, there was a bit of that. But also I was like, I don't want to have to deal with colleagues asking what's happening, how are things? You just left us, And I was just like, I don't want that energy. Like, I just want this happy bubble I've created for myself. And I don't want anybody in it. So it was strange. But that leads me to 2 apps that I use. Because I think in my past job, I developed anxiety there. Because I can't remember before working where I was working ever having felt anxiety. So there's 2 apps that really helped me. So the first one I've been using for like 3-4 years now. It's called Headspace. And I use Headspace because I'm really big on meditation. And also, there goes another track. Sorry, guys. I'm big on meditation, but also I always forget to take time out for myself. So what I like about Headspace is that if I say at 10:10, give me a reminder that I need to detach, distress from everything and just take 10 minutes by myself, not doing anything or listening to some calming motivational talk. Headspace helps me do that really, really well. And especially for me, because like, sometimes I'll have one thought that is just like, oh my God, this shit is not going to work out. And then that thought gives birth to 2 other horrible thoughts that each give birth to 10 other horrible thoughts. You know what I mean? So what I like about Headspace, it helps me like, yeah, there's no word. It's just that sound. So that's one that I use. And then the other one that I use is Mindshift. What I like about Mindshift is that it's completely created to help with anxiety. Well, also other mental health conditions, but I haven't really ventured past there's another track. What is happening? I hope they're finally fixing the road. Anyway, so I haven't really ventured out of the anxiety stuff. So basically what it helps is it has an inbuilt thought journal, which I love because I've gotten back to journaling. So this really helps me like pour down my thoughts. My anxiety is very irrational. So when you see these irrational things written down, you're just like, this is stupid. Like, this is not even something that can work. So that really helps me. It has various coping mechanisms, right? So you could choose the chill zone, you could choose taking action or healthy thinking. I'm always in the healthy thinking side. That's where the journal is and everything. So I like Mindshift so far, but honestly, I probably just started using it, let's say 2 months ago. And you can check in. So you check in and submit how you're feeling. So if you say, I'm feeling okay, you submit it and you break down that feeling. So it helps you track like your emotions. And then when you're having an anxiety attack, you can describe it. And I think this really helps. So you can say whether it's a general worry, social anxiety, perfectionism, panic, or phobias. And then, from there, then they'll help you cope with whichever one it is. So Mindshift is not bad. But on Friday, I just used Headspace because also I didn't have time. I didn't have a lot of time to start journaling and stuff. Those are the two apps I use to really help me with my anxiety. Headspace, I can vouch for. Mindshift, give me like 2 more months, then I'll tell you how it's working out for me. Anyway, so y'all know this feature that I have, 100 African stories. I absolutely love gathering these stories. I learn so much from them. And I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be opening the gates to allow you who's listening to share your story on 100 African stories. So make sure you keep listening to probably the next 2 episodes of Legally Clueless. I'll have cracked it by then. But this episode's 100 African story is someone who's just... You thought Abigail in the last episode is hilarious. Jason is on a whole other level. I love that he shares a story that deals with both relationships and also life after getting fired, right? I think because of all the shame that people have attached to getting fired, nobody really talks about that space. So I love that he was so genuine with it. And it also helped that he was fired from a job that he didn't really like. Anyway, I'm giving away too much of his story. Let him just tell it to you.
100 African stories.
There is no proper life that you live in university as a musician.
If I constantly just walked around feeling sorry for myself, I'm never going to get anything done.
There was a bit of frustration in between all of that.
I've been breaking my back for this company.
Therapy is not for the weak or for the crazy.
Stories from Africa.
Hi, my name is JT Kapik. My government names are Jason Bogo. I'm a lifestyle blogger, and 9 to 5 I am a digital strategy account manager. And that sounds heavy. Wow! I am from Nairobi, Kenya, born and bred. Hata sijatoka hii Afrika, lakini nakuanga na accent sa zingine. Truly helps me with the transitioning on YouTube. People respect me more. Yes, yes they do. My story starts maybe 2014. I was working in a company. I had like a really big title. It was fantastic. They called me a marketing analyst. Let me tell you, it was a lie. It was a lie. So for a year and a half, I was a data enterer. Is that like a word? Yes. A data enterer. All I did for 1.5 years was basically enter data every day. So I never used to understand, like, we used to get the data and then analyze it. Yeah. A market analyst. but that data never went anywhere. So I remember one time, it was a Korean company. I shall withhold the name. Yeah. Then they're like, do in this country. So take your pick. So one day I remember we went for this status meeting and we had to present about... So my market was Uganda. and I used to talk to the guys on ground constantly, just find out like what's going on, so it was the January period.
Yeah.
And this guy asks me, so out of all the cards that you put in, and I was just like, yes. He's like, only 30 are TVs that are 65 inch. And I was like, yeah, because it's like Jan, which means that like people are doing school fee stuff right now. I'll do a quick segue as to why I stayed in that job. So at that time I was dating someone who, it was a very weird relationship, because it started off from friendship, and then it moved into it was so strange. So somehow their family got bankrupt amidst the relationship, and I was earning like 35 G's. I was staying at home, but for me, like, I was like, what, Malik? I had that car, I'm just like, I'm living life, you know. So I'm stuck with this someone who is with someone else.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. And I was head over heels in love. So by virtue of the fact that I was quote unquote the breadwinner, I had to stay in this job that I hated. I hated my job so much. I remember I used to drink. I drink now, but like now I drink like wine out of pleasure, not out of like pain. Yeah. And I remember I used to be so stressed all the time, because you go out with this person and they're depressed basically Monday to Monday.
Yeah.
And Monday I have work on Tuesday. But then you have to do what? You have to go out for drinks, because I need to make you feel better. So not only was my account depleting, but who I was as a person. So I hate my job, I'm hungover, I'm exhausted, and then I go to work the next day. I'm hungover, exhausted, and I hate my job. So it was a constant cycle where now I had to give so much of myself to this person that my job ultimately suffered. And I remember it got to a point where it showed. Like, I remember just one day I just didn't go to work.
Yeah.
I just did not care. And the person I was with did not give me the support that I needed. You know, like, I always say, you know that meme for like when a guy is not the breadwinner, the baby's the breadwinner, and she's there doing her makeup, and he's just there in the bed, and it's just like, when you come back home, just know I got you. I never had that. I never had that. No, I did not. It was a sad situation. It was the saddest situation. So I was my energy booster. I was my Berocca. I was my everything.
Yeah.
So I remember one morning. That morning I could. You know when you feel like today is the day. Like I feel like something is about to happen. Something big. And I remember going to work. And I just sat there at my laptop, just looking at those damn bloody cards that I needed to enter around. And I was just there like, take these, exhausted. And I just had my name being called by the HR. So the HR called me and he's just like, yo, I can tell you don't like this job. And you know my thing is this, like, in that job, I really did not like my job, like at all. But what I do now is what I was trying to get into back then.
Okay.
Yeah. And I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried so many times. I actually went for maybe like 4 or 5 interviews. It was just like, the interview would be great. They'd make me do a presentation and they'd just be like, wow, those are some great ideas. And then I'd see them being implemented.
Oh, they used to tag your ideas.
Yeah, so it's implemented. So it's given to somebody else who would come into the company.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So you're just like, it's not cute. That's weird. Why would you? Anyway, that's fine. So the guy gave me a decision to make. So he told me, we'll give you 3 months salary for you to leave, and for you to leave today. That's how much you know you are no longer giving the company any value. If a company can tell you, leave now.
We shall pay you.
We shall pay you. This was me. Cool. Oh my, I was so tired. It was like being in an empty relationship with someone and they give you an out. You know, like when you see your spouse and you're just like, I just find you cheating. Like, because you're like, you're great sometimes, like you feed me, like, but you can't even cheat something, just do something. Let me tell you, that conversation went so fast because I sat there and I remember, like, I just had to think about like everything that was going on, just like think about like, oh my god, my boo. I'm like, then my mom.
Yeah.
Then my lifestyle. But my lifestyle wasn't that like, it wasn't like now. Now I'm like, flipping the molasses and champagne. But like, I mean, wines in Tamasha were like 150 and I'm like, where am I going to get that cash though? So I took it. And remember that night, a couple of my friends, a very few, a small amount of friends, I told that I was fired. Because that's what happened. I was fired. So I first told the guys I worked with. Because, your work family, like you spend hours with them.
True.
I spend 8 to 10 hours in the office, 5 to 6 days a week. Sometimes we travel together. Yeah. So they're your first family. Like, it wasn't even, I didn't tell my mom until the next day, actually. When she saw me, hanging. and she's like, it's not your kawaida hanging. And I'm like, yeah, mom, I just need to talk to you about something. I kind of got fired. And she's like, you did? It's like, Papa, you really hated that job. And I was like, okay, girlfriend, I feel like you're onto something. And actually, that's how I got into social media. So that evening, I remember there was an event. Mutuama Veka was having a showing at Michael Joseph Center, which was kind of, okay, if I could give the location, it's right opposite where I used to work. Yeah. And I remember I was numb. I remember going for that event and I was extremely numb. It was the weirdest thing because I think my mind was trying to process the information and then at the same time trying to make everyone around me feel comfortable enough to not feel that they should feel sorry for me. I remember there's this chick, oh my god, you know what? That babe, when I was leaving the office, so of course at this point everybody knew because I'm one of those, I'm loud. So I was saying bye to everyone. I'm just like, hi, bye, bitch. I miss you. So she's the one person I didn't say bye to.
Why?
I just didn't care for her. I think this has always been my concept. If I don't care for you, I won't let you see it, but then you will feel it. Yeah. I'm very affectionate with everyone. So this chick, she called me to her desk and she's like, yo, Jay, actually, there's something I need to give you, and I feel like it'll really help you. And she wrote down on a paper and she folded it. And so I was like, cool, no worries, thank you. So I kissed her, bye, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I opened that paper. Guess what was written? What? myjobsite.com. Let me tell you, I will never forget.
What?
I burst out into laughter. So I'm showing my friend and I'm just like, you won't believe what she gave me. So myjobsite.com is it's like a website to go and find jobs. So for you to give somebody who's just lost their job, after you tell them I have a connect, what? You give me an entire website. It was the most frustrating thing. So by the time I was going for this event, I was quite numb. And I had a couple of glasses of wine, so I decided to relax. By the time we got to Molly's, so for those who do not know, Molly's is this bar in Nairobi, Kenya, that shots 100 bob. Wow. Guys, at some point I was sitting on the counter. It was a lot. And I remember that night, so I didn't mention this, but before I had lost my job, I had also broken up with my person. Okay. But it was just circumstances. I was tired of being number two. Yeah. I was like, no, this is actually not working for me. I feel like there's so much better in life. And this was probably our fifth breakup. But this one felt the realest. Yeah. This one felt wow.
It's going down.
It's oh my god, we might not talk again. And we used to take 1 month breaks actually. A whole month we don't talk. That's my concept. And I'm deal with that shit. So that night, I don't know, it's the universe. My person found me there. Wow. Yeah. And everybody was just like, oh my god, don't touch this. I'm just like, why am I not turning? and I turn and it's just us locking eyes.
Oh my god.
And I just heard, what's up? And I was just like, cool. Conversation. I'm like, I can't do this right now. I'm just I'm drunk, I'm tired, and I just want to have fun with my friends. Yeah. So I moved on with my life. So I went home. I told my mom about losing my job. Yeah. And she was just like, we need a strategy. Because my mother is just larger than life. Yeah. Loud, over the top. She's just like me. And she was like, you know, we should do all these things, we should buy things, jewelry, we should start selling things, and what. And strategizing to what I wanted to actually do, because I was just like, we actually won't have a source of income for the next, after these 3 months, completely. Like,
what's next?
What's next? And at that moment, I remember my good friend Maureen Gitao. She is amazing. She really pushed me into the social media world. Back in the day when I used to just take pictures in the club. I feel like I took a couple of pictures of you.
Yes, for sure.
100%. And that's when now we came up with the name J Take a Pic, because it's all I did in the club. You know. And now that's when we started the website. Then we moved into my accessories line and my phone covers. So now I started sourcing stuff from the UK.
I bought a phone cover from you.
Yeah, you bought a phone cover from me. Yeah, exactly. So I started this business that just made no sense, because one, I had such tremendous support. Like it was crazy. Because you know you have this business that you don't know. You don't know if it will prosper. But then like it kind of shows me now when I think about it, always sell a product that you would buy. Always have a product that you believe in so much. Let me tell you, if nobody wore my necklaces, and they were gorgeous, they were from like Forever 21, they were from Zara, they were just, but I would have worn them. And I've been in Tamasha with like 4 chokers, just like what? Fabulous what? And it would have just been fabulosity all around. But then I didn't have like financial training and all that. So like most of the money I used to drink. But most of the money actually used to come back now into my blog, because my blog moved from just taking pictures to now cooking. That's when I moved into the food world.
I remember.
So I was like, I'm a self-taught cook. Hey, I can make a mean mashakura. Oh my god, like you have no idea. Okay, I can make you a beef stew that can, you know, make everything okay. But I can also cook prawns, like, and lasagna. Those things don't matter. Comfort food is what matters.
It's the best.
Yeah, comfort food is really what matters. Now I siphoned some of the cash into that, which now translated into like a bigger business for me. Social media kind of changed how I looked at everything, and I ended up now getting a job as a community manager in another company, which led now me getting into this space from growing as a community manager, somebody who just creates content, to now somebody who does strategies for humongous companies that and shift like fiscal years for them, like to make profits and stuff like that, which is kind of crazy sometimes when I think about it. It's like a lot of pressure, but like I love it so much.
When you were going through that phase, like how were the 3 months for you, especially like knowing? Actually,
it was a year.
It was a year.
Yeah, it was a year. I didn't mention that. It was a year. So the first 3 months were me basically bashing. I bashed hard. I think I've never partied so hard in my existence as a human being. Like I party now, like a lot. I partied so hard. Like there was always an event, and then now like, you know, you're jobless, so guys are like, oh, let's just buy him some wine, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm like, I have money in my pocket, but like, cool, fine. I'm gonna take it. So I was constantly out. So for the first 3 months, it was a mess. Then my mom had to sit me down again and be like, yo,
strategy,
what's up? like what are we doing, dad? And I'm just like, mom, I don't know, like honestly. So for this next 9 months, that's when now things got like serious. I remember there were downs, like when I think about like, oh, will I ever get another job? But I used to call myself a housewife, a posh one, in fact. Like you couldn't weather me, you could not handle this guy. I was just out here. I'd go do my nails, then I'd do delivery from 8 in the morning till like 8 p.m. By the time I get home, and you get my eyes are red. I've cooled all the dust. I am tired. I went to town. I dropped my car here. I walked to town. I came back. Somehow a chick there and want her phone cover because she changed her phone. Her boyfriend wasn't buying it for her anymore. So I'm just there like, what? I'm like, you know what? Your man is trash, honey. Don't worry. I'll give you a big discount. Also, I can sell you a necklace for the next time you see him. So the whole time you're just exhausted. But those are the good days. And then there were days when you wouldn't sell anything.
Yeah.
Or like there's a period where my consignment didn't come in for 2 months. So that's all my cash gone. And that's me every day being called by people who are expecting their stuff, because in the beginning I used to ask for upfront payment.
Yeah.
So like I used to ask for half. So that's guys are like, yo, because you have to make that money.
Yeah.
In my head I'm just like, if this cover is 1,500, bro, the cover is probably like 700. I need a deposit of 700. So by the time it comes, all that money, I'm just like, profit.
Yeah.
Straight back inside the business. So those months were the worst. They were at the absolute worst. I remember actually August of that year, because my birthday is in August, and my birthdays are always a big blowout. That year I remember I just didn't have the funds to do something as extra as possible as I wanted to. I remember the guys took me to Tamasha, and Tamasha was like, they shut it down. Like maybe like 50 to 70 people, and we're just like stuck in one corner. I don't know how I got home. Till now, my ex was there.
In closing, are you still friends with this ex?
Yes. but now we're pals. We wish each other well, like actual well. Like,
Success.
not like that. Not like before. When I'm like, I wish you well, but like to get hit by a bus. Now it's like, I wish you well as you plan your ratio. God bless.
Catch our next African stories in the next episode.
I really enjoyed recording that story. Thank you so much, Jason, for being on 100 African Stories, and to you too for listening to this podcast. Remember, if you want to join the Instagram family, all you have to do is go into Instagram and search Legally Clueless Podcast. Follow and you're in. And that's it for this episode of Legally Clueless. You can share this podcast with your friends. You can keep it for yourself. I'm not judging. Just make sure you're here next week for the next episode.